Up to now, we've been looking at keywords from a more two-dimensional standpoint. By that I mean we're simply looking at how many times this keyword has been searched on and comparing it to competition. But I like to add the third dimension of data, and the third dimension is that of time. Simply because a keyword is searched on more than other keywords does not mean that it is searched on the most all the time. There's always an annual trend that needs to be considered and measured. The more knowledgeable you are about these annual trends, the more prepared you'll be to deal with them as they come, as well as to plan ahead and predict them and take advantage of them for your marketing. And so what we're going to do here is compare a number of terms. I've got 5 terms, and the reason why I've selected these 5 is the first one, California hiking trails, is a more general term. So it's going to receive a lot more searches, and I'm going to use that as really kind of a baseline with which to compare my next few versions of terms. Now, I've also selected the next 4 terms based on 2 factors. The first, a location factor. There's a clear difference between people searching for Northern California hiking and Southern California hiking. The second factor is word order. I want to see if there's any difference between people using hiking first in the key phrase or last in the key phrase. So as you can see, I have hiking Southern California, hiking Northern California hiking, and Southern California hiking. In comparing these across the trend lines, one thing that jumps out to me is that the South keywords are searched on more than the Northern keywords. Now, I could have seen that in the keyword counts, and typically you can figure that out very quickly, but I always like to double check on Google Trends because it gives me a more visual way of looking at the keyword data. Now, the general term of hiking trails, as you can see, it's very volatile. It always seems to spike in middle of the year. And when I look at Southern California, it's a little less volatile. In fact, the last 2 years looks very rounded and almost very even, whereas the northern-based keywords, there's definitely a spike in the early summer. And so from these trend lines and adding that third dimension, we can come up with a number of conclusions from our comparison. We can see that the trend of Southern California hiking keywords are following the baseline trend of the more general term California hiking trails. Southern trend is less volatile and it starts earlier and lasts longer. So from a prediction standpoint, if I'm going to develop ongoing content and I'm going to develop hiking packages on the website to target those people looking for Southern California hiking, I'm going to start developing content and I've got to have those packages on the site by late December. The content I'm going to start probably mid or early December writing about new packages or new offerings for Southern California hiking. And the main reason I'll start both of those things in December is because it peaks in January, it peaks again in April, June, and July. You see, the reason why it peaks in January are those are all my planners. They're planning out what they're going to be doing in the summer. It peaks again in April because those are my late planners. Those are people that have an idea of what they're going to do, but they don't exactly wait to the last minute. The people in June and July, they wait to the last minute. And they're the ones looking for packages, vacation packages, or hiking packages that they can get on. So we see the same thing in Northern California. However, it spikes in April as the first trend, and then it lasts until August. So I can start my content program and my optimization, and I can also have a level of expectation of my southern-based hiking keywords starting earlier in the year, and then I can put off marketing my Northern California hiking terms until about late mid-March to prepare for my April surge, and then plan for that to last longer throughout the year. And see, those are the action points. I can take all of this data, I can do an initial optimization on my website for those packages that are relevant to the keywords. But I can create ongoing content. This helps me predict when I should start writing content or maybe creating new products to match the trends. And that way, I'm developing content at the right time for the right searchers and can deliver what they want when they want it, and I can grow my rankings as I'm developing content and implementing the words that I'm learning from my keyword and trend data.